You know, I feel like a lot of things as kids disturb the heck out of us when we watched old movies or children's cartoons back in the day. It just has this certain special scare factor that just doesn't happen anymore. Like every single time I look back at the little toaster, there's an exact moment that scares the heck out of me. It's always this moment where the little toaster's walking slightly towards the camera. And while that happened, my mom and dad were doing doggy style next to me, and his bubble butt kept on beating me in the head every single scene. Truly terrifying. And rude! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Ryan Reacts. Today, we are checking out a YouTuber I have not watched in a very long time, but I've been meaning to for ages, and that is another Blameitonjorge video. A guy that I watched when he was making just scare compilations, and I am so happy to see how far he's come. He makes some great documentaries and just great content on scary topics. Like this one here today, Top 20 Disturbing Moments in Kids Films. I've watched a couple of these before, but I have not watched one from Blameitonjorge, so I'm curious to see what clips and movies he gets out. I hope he finds some real obscure ones that are ready to shock the shit out of me, because trust me, 80s and 90s kids movies, who knows what the heck he'll find in that treasure trove, especially if he goes outside of America and starts finding those foreign films. Ooh, baby. Of course, folks, like check out the original link, more for original content creator, link in the description.
Some of the scariest moments in our lives comes from the movies and programs we were exposed to as a child. Nowadays, nothing too scary is made for kids, but it seems like back then, there was a whole mess of frightening scenes in some of our favorite movies. So
I'm kind of surprised they don't.
The most disturbing moments in kids.
I feel like it might be in kids' cartoons, if anything. Don't forget, kids had to go through Gravity Falls.
They definitely
sure that
left
scarred some
on
kid.
us as kids. With that being said, this is the
Oh
top
my
20
god,
disturbing
no!
moments in kids'
That's a
films.
serial killer! Oh my god! Little girl, garrot that guy before he gets bigger. That bunny man is a monster for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm pretty sure a serial killer would see that and go, ah, dang it. Ah, I give up. My mask sucks.
The Witch from The Wizard of Oz. For most kids, the witch from The Wizard of Oz
how the
was one of the earliest
transition
villains they've ever been introduced
This
to.
is what kids are scared of.
And her evil laugh, creepy minions, and
somersault.
sinister castle gave kids shivers down their spines.
I shit my pants.
One of her more disturbing scenes is towards the end.
I think the most disturbing part probably is all the horrible working conditions that the woman had to go through. That's truly the most terrifying.
Gave kids shivers down their spines. One of her more disturbing scenes is towards the end, when the witch tries to burn the scarecrow. Dorothy throws water on him.
I mean, to
tame
be
the
fair, haven't
fire,
we all thought
but
about
suddenly the
burning
water
at least one of
splashes
them?
onto the witch, causing her to melt.
You cursed rat! Look what you've done! I'm melting!
You know, if it was so dangerous, why did you even consider letting water anywhere near you? You know, I'm starting to think you were pretty dumb, Wicked
The
Witch of the
Child Catcher
West.
From Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. With a name
Oh,
like
they
the Child
knew
Catcher,
what they were doing
no
with
one
that
expects
nose.
this man to be evil or creepy, so kids can learn not to talk to
That's
strangers.
the only clown you don't want to
But
frickin'
this guy
honk
took it
his
to a
nose.
whole new level. With his mischievous appearance and eerie
'Cause
voice,
it's not.
the child catcher definitely reminded kids to keep away from mysterious
Oh
men.
my God. You know, it's on you kids. You didn't see the bars from there? Not a single peep at a bar?
Charlie's Dream from All Dogs Go to Heaven.
I think I would
The
have saw
movie
one
begins
bar and
with
at least
a
get
German
him,
shepherd, Charlie,
clobber him right in
who
the old
escapes a
knee
dog
bone.
pound to return to the casino.
Oh, God!
Doesn't want trouble
I'm
from
already
Charlie
disturbed.
being an
I saw that
escaped
frickin'
convict.
dog
So
with
he gets Charlie
DSLs.
drunk and murders
Oh,
him.
I want to go home.
After Charlie gets to heaven, he decides to escape it and return to Earth for revenge on Carface. This leads to him having a long, vivid dream about the molten rots of hell.
Holy
Being a
shit!
fire-breathing demonic dog creature.
Oh my gosh! Man, well, how about not revenge? Just go to heaven, you silly dog. Dogs Always think
The
about
library ghost from Ghostbusters.
squirrels and
The most
going to
frightening of
eternal
scenes are the ones
damnation.
that come out of nowhere. In this scene, the Ghostbusters are trying to figure out what to do in their first encounter with an actual ghost.
Was
which
Ghostbusters
happens
a
to be
kids
just an elderly
movie?
librarian.
Back then, I don't
After
remember.
realizing that asking
I would
questions
have
won't work,
expected
they
it to
decide
be
do what any rational
teen
person would
movie.
do and charge at the ghost.
Oh God. Is that Claymation? All I know is, geez Louise, they make some of the frickin' scariest scenes. I bet you Pee-wee's Playhouse is coming
The
at some
Banshee
place.
From Darby O'Gill and the Little People. One of the lesser-known Disney films, Darby O'Gill and the Little People,
because they
featured
kidnapped a
Irish
bunch of little
culture,
people.
as our protagonist tries to find the land of the Little People, assumed to be leprechauns. Towards the end, Katie falls to her death, which triggers the arrival of the
We thought they were
Banshee.
leprechauns because he was wearing greens and went, "I'm a fucking leprechaun." Are you flipping me off, Banshee? I killed your daughter.
For most kids growing up,
What a
the
jerk.
Banshee, with its vaguely opaque outfit,
Oh,
overtone, and haunting
boy, oh
vibe,
boy, Banshee.
was the one to scare the crap out of them.
Why isn't the Banshee doing the Banshee howl, though? Ooh. It was a lazy Banshee. It was a
dog
low-budget
bite from
Banshee.
Scruffy.
We could only pay so
The
much for a
basic
Banshee.
synopsis of this movie, from people who remember it, is that almost everyone dies or gets harmed in some way in this film.
Oh my God,
After
what?
An onslaught of depressing scenes, such as the mother dog being killed by hunters, and an alcoholic street performer dying from a disease.
Whoa!
Scruffy's friend Butch is seen
What?
fighting against a bulldog, with quite some
The
blood being
disease was
shown.
alcoholism, my friend.
Towards the end, Scruffy and her friends are all taken to the pound, where they will all be euthanized.
No! What the hell,
They
man?
eventually survive before being adopted to a nice home. But that's quite a lot of depressing scenes for a small-time Saturday morning flick.
Someone who is making that movie was depressed. I'm telling you right now, all those clips just ooze that man was getting a divorce and was drinking alcohol. You know what? What if I kill some dogs? That'll show a pitch.
Bald Mountain, from Fantasia.
Bald Mountain?
According to tradition, is the gathering place of Satan and his followers.
The 1940 movie Fantasia is a film that consisted of
On
8 animated
Bald
segments
Mountain?
with classical music.
I'm not going to
And the
argue with
final
that.
segment is one hell
That
of
makes
a
sense.
musical. The scene contains a
Where
swirl of
else would the
spirits
devil
circling
be?
around
Not
Satan,
on Harry
and the women
Mountain.
turning into morbid creatures, and the same creatures
Hell
falling into
only
the
resides in the eyes of a
spirits
bald
flying right
man.
at you.
His
One of
hatred
Disney's
towards life
finest pieces
only
of
represents
art
the devil.
was nightmare fuel for kids.
Yeah, but back then they loved making kids believe in the eternal damnation and making them shit their little pantaloons.
The animatronics from Dark Crystal,
I don't like this.
creator of the Muppet Show,
I like
Jim
that.
Henson, is the last person you expect to appear on this list. However, he was known for putting out more dark and edgy work by his fans. The Dark Crystal was a perfect example,
Oof.
combining
Ooh.
creepy animatronics
Ooh.
with religious ceremonies, which was so profane that the film was banned in Iran.
That should be an accomplishment, like a badge. You were banned in Iran. You probably said, I think women should
Snake
have rights. Is
from
that
Beetlejuice.
Iran? That might not be the right way.
Beetlejuice
I don't
was a
like
classic
that.
horror kids film. It was filled with disturbing imagery and gags that made children shit themselves.
You know, I've never seen this
Most
movie.
notably, the scene
I-
where Beetlejuice becomes a snake.
It's
and
my
starts
greatest
tossing people
shame.
around the house.
Oh!
Modern CGI does not compare to
But
how
you know what I
frightening
do
this
know.
thing looked.
Nice fucking model. Beep, beep.
The Troll from Ernest
Stop
Scared
doing
Stupid.
that, Ryan. This is the second time you've done it, and you're gonna get yourself goddamn banned. Oh, the troll in earnest! First off, troll, what are you doing? Ah!
Ernest Scared
He was just
Stupid
smiling because
is
it was a
part of
nice
whole
bed, though,
series
to
of
be honest
films
with you.
centered around
Trolls don't get
fictional
very many
man
nice
Ernest,
beds.
a
What if the
clumsy
girl
man
was
who
there,
finds
but the
himself
bed was
in
stolen?
peculiar
Troll!
situations. In the Halloween-themed film Ernest Scared Stupid, he accidentally unleashes an army of trolls upon a small town, and these trolls are some of the most disgusting-looking things ever. With their saliva-filled smiles, noses with leaking mucus.
You don't actually have to
and
explain
spikes on their
anything.
eyebrows.
You just have to say
The trolls
Ernest, and then
kept
we can
kids
figure out that
frightened
he
throughout
probably
all of
messed up
Halloween.
at some point. Oh, whoopsie doodles. Sacrifice the goat to Satan.
Bruno's transformation
Oh, Ernest.
from the witches.
I forgive you.
The 1990 movie is full of creepy imagery, such as bald witches.
Oh,
and mice
whoa.
that used to be children.
That was
Speaking
Bald
of mice,
Mountain.
There is a scene where the RSPCC, a group of all of England's witches, gather together to discuss Formula 86, a potion that can turn the drinker into a mouse within 2 hours.
Why does this sound like
To
something
demonstrate,
Hitler
a boy
would have
named
made?
Bruno, who earlier was given chocolate laced with formula, transformed into a mouse.
Come
right
on,
in
we
front of the
promise we're not
witches.
witches.
The scene is filled with quirky camera angles, awkward close-ups.
Hello, it's me, Hobo Ryan. I made a joke about the witches soon after this that was so heinously bad that I had to cut it out. And now I am on my apology tour. Thank you for coming to my apology tour, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Don't trust white people or whatever. We would just like to apologize, and we will never say the joke ever again, and will be thrown into the vaults of Hades. Or Bald Mountain. I'm going to put it on a bald guy's head, and you'll never find it because nobody wants to look at a bald guy's head. It's called hiding in plain sight.
It's debatable whether or not this film was even made for children. Even the book the film was based on was supposed to be read by children. But its warm colors and portrayal of bunnies led some parents to believe that this movie was perfectly safe for their kids.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, this film
Oh,
has
I've
some very
seen
graphic
this
scenes,
one!
such as bloody fights.
I mean, you could say that's traumatizing, but wait till you see it in real life. All you hear is, and fucking a tornado in front of you.
Rabbits with bruised up and bleeding faces. And even one dying right in front of us.
I'm gonna be fully honest with you. Last time I saw a real bunny, they got their ass stuck in my fence and did "What are you doing, step bro?" and kicked me right in the fucking shin. They nailed me right in the. I was trying to push his little fat butt out, but he was so upset.
Large Marge. From
I knew it! Large Marge, baby!
Pee-wee's Playhouse was already a show that might have been too creepy for kids.
No, it wasn't. No, it was. I was a kid, and Pee-wee was a very trustworthy member of my family.
The scene where Pee-wee gets picked up by a truck driver named Large Marge. She begins to tell Pee-wee a story about the worst accident she's ever seen, which leads to this.
It looked like this.
The story itself was already
Damn, Marge,
but
how'd you
its
learn
fate
how to
was
do that
downright
with your tongue?
disturbing. It was later revealed that Large Marge was actually dead the whole time.
Large Marge.
But she was always that ugly.
Why, tonight's the anniversary. Worst accident I ever seen.
That means the Large Marge I was riding was
Lovely.
I would have laughed. It was just like, yeah, it was her sister. She took up the business afterwards.
It involves
And also died in as a ghost! Ah!
The doctors, who all happen to be clowns, are trying to fix Pee-wee's bike, but to no avail.
Listen, never underestimate the insanity that was
So what do the
Pee-wee's
clown
Playhouse.
doctors do to try
See,
to
this is
fix
why
the
I loved
problem?
watching it as a kid. This
Call
stuff
upon the
I
power of
ate
Satan,
up.
of course.
It was insane. I miss that insanity. That insanity doesn't exist anymore with kids. Now it's just nice graphics. Let's go back to the old days when everyone took
The
drugs
toast
when they made our
from
kids'
Willy
movies.
Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Everyone remembers this scene because it came out
Yeah.
of nowhere, and it's so far-fetched from
I'm
the
gonna
rest
be
of the
honest,
film.
did not scare me
The
as
majority
much
of
as
the movie is innocent
floating
and
up
fun,
about to
with
hitting
Charlie
a
as our
buzzsaw.
pure protagonist.
That made me,
And a
that
handful of
scared the shit out of me
whimsical
much
songs.
more
When out of
than
nowhere,
Willy Wonka
Wonka
going
takes
through a
us through
midlife
this
crisis.
tunnel. The colors
This is
become
another
all
Tuesday for me.
disoriented. There's imagery of snakes and a chicken getting its head cut off. And finally, Wonka tops it all off by singing a chilling poem.
There's no knowing where we're rowing, or which way the river's flowing. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is a hurricane a blowing?
Oh, guys, this is fine. This is like half of my YouTube streams. All of a sudden, I start singing and everyone starts worrying, but we go back to the fun. We go back to the fun.
From Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, give
Throughout
credit
the
to
film,
just the
Judge
actor
Doom came
himself,
off as a
because he's
mysterious
got
kind
the
of character
scariest look.
With a simple goal in mind. He wanted to get rid of the crazy physics-defying tunes. Following his supposed death, Doom survives by revealing that he is actually half man, half tune.
Oh, I
Something
hated
really
that.
batshit insane.
Oh, I hated that.
Remember me, Eddie? When I kill your brother, I talk. Yes!
Good lord, I'm gonna have nightmares now.
Now the once mysterious Judge Doom goes on a rampage, using
You know what the
Roger
best
as
part
he
is
tries
about
to kill
Judge
our protagonist.
Doom? His
Finally,
skin
Judge Doom is
looks
defeated by
like
being
it's
melted
on,
into
like put on.
also known as Toon Acid.
I don't know if that movie was made for kids, to be honest with you.
The electrocution scene from Something Wicked This Way Comes. Disney seemed to went through this grungy teen phase in the 80s/90s, back when their films were much
Yes,
darker.
they really loved
The
doing
film
that.
adaptation of the 60s novel, Something Wicked This Way Comes, tells the story of two boys investigating a strange carnival that came to their town. This movie has some of the most bizarre scenes.
I am
and creepy
intrigued.
imagery,
I've never heard of this one.
like the hallucinogenic pony ride with distorted music.
What is he, Dumbo? If there's no pink elephants, it's no fun drug carnival ride.
A man being electrocuted by the mysterious Mr. Dark.
What? Whoa! He's killing the janitor? No, wait, are you single?
Followed by a boy getting his head
That's how they
sliced
always
off
look
by
when
a
I ask that
guillotine.
question. Woo! Woo! Oh! You don't say.
Satan. From the Adventures of Mark Twain.
Who are you?
Dude, I remember this amazing design.
An angel.
The Adventures of Mark Twain is a stop-motion animated fantasy film released in 1985, and everyone remembers it for that one scene with our good friend Satan. After giving
Gotta
the
give him
kids
credit.
grapefruit,
He's pretty good
Satan tells them
claymation.
to make people out of it. He then brings them to life, only to begin discussing his hatred towards humanity as he squashes the Clayman.
I find you humans quite interesting, even though you are a worthless, greedy lot.
His face grows more evil, more menacing.
He's got some valid points. Humans are kind of shitheads. Have you ever taken care of a kid? Like, I've never wanted to kill one. But boy, oh boy, sometimes they start yelling. I'm like, oh man, if I could shoot a lightning bolt, I might. I would miss, but I might. I get it, man. I get it. Humans can be a bit of a tough act to follow, you know?
Effectively murdering all of them. Never mind the fact that this is Satan, literally Satan, but his haunting voice and the way he gives his demonstration on humanity is truly terrifying, especially for children.
But can
who
we
grew up watching
really
this.
talk about how great
After
the
kids
animations
run
are?
off, Satan has one final thing to say on mankind.
What do you gotta say, bud?
Life itself is only a vision.
Okay, Bill Cipher.
Nothing exists save empty space, and you are but a thought.
Well, I'm not sleeping tonight. I probably should pray to Jesus real quick. I saw Satan.
Pleasure Island.
Oh,
from
man.
Pinocchio. One of Disney's most infamously disturbing movie scenes
Also, buy gold.
comes from the movie Pinocchio. After enjoying the free life without a conscience, Pinocchio and Lampwick spend some time drinking and smoking. However, Jiminy Cricket learns about a terrible
These were the
curse on Pleasure
days
Island.
when they really wanted to
Boys will be
traumatize some
able to turn
kids
into
so they
donkeys
won't do
or,
bad things.
quote-unquote,
Was that a...
make jackasses of themselves. Which makes
Hey,
this
that's a
scene
good
where
money-making
Lampwick
scheme,
actually
though,
does transform
afterwards.
into a donkey. As Lampwick
They
cries
got
for
like
his
5
mom,
movies out of
Pinocchio
it, bud.
and Jiminy escape the island.
You made a mistake,
And that's
Pinocchio.
it. He didn't
You made a
save
real
the boys
mistake.
Who were either trapped on the island or already transformed into donkeys. Pinocchio just
He was
left
just
us to
before his
search for
time, that's
work
all.
on salt mines or circuses.
All right, what could possibly beat Pinocchio? What do you got?
The Wheelers
The
from Return to Oz.
The what?
Whenever somebody mentions this movie scaring them as a child, it's usually the scene with the hallway of disembodied heads
What?
yelling at Dorothy as she tries to escape. Which is pretty horrifying.
Wait, isn't that a
but
bit
what's
from
absolutely
Futurama?
worth hitting is the scene with the tall, crazy laughing, hostile creatures known as the Wheelers.
Holy shit! Oh my god, those things are the worst! Holy shit! And they're radical!
Return to Oz was panned by most critics, claiming that the film was too scary and intense for children.
Oh, now I really,
And the
really,
Wheelers
really,
definitely
really
helped
want to
make it
watch
so.
it. Because I like it intense.
Everything about
Ladies.
Crybaby Lane.
Crybaby Lane?
Despite being a creepypasta, the film actually existed on the Nickelodeon channel back in the year 2000. After its initial airing, Nickelodeon was met with tons of angry complaints from parents.
What the heck
deeming
did you
movie
do,
far too
Nickelodeon?
disturbing for children. The film was pretty gruesome, as it tells the tale of a farmer's wife. who
How
gave
bad
birth
could
to
it be? I
twin
mean,
twins.
they did, Are You
After the
Afraid?
twins died of a shared illness, the father, who was ashamed of his kids, unjoined them with a saw. He buried the good twin in the cemetery, while tossing the other twin in a field
What?
at the end of an old dirt road called Crybaby Lane. The urban legend is that anybody who happens to be at Crybaby Lane at night will hear the cries of the dead twins.
Well, it's a good thing they named it Crybaby Lane,
Just
huh,
the
guys?
backstory alone screams
Thank God
that
it
this
wasn't
movie is
like
a star
moaning
to those who have seen it. And
Mondays.
that's not even half of it. This movie also has
Garfield
seances,
hates that
road
day.
gangs, and nudity. Whatever the film's intentions were, it did not find the right audience to express them.
Dude, I gotta see this movie. I have to see this movie. Holy smokes, that is amazing. I have not heard anything about this. That is a legitimate creepypasta. That's awesome. The last two I gotta work. I think I've heard of Return to Oz. That movie certainly sounds familiar, but the last one I have never heard of. And it does seem like somebody snuck something on the air they weren't supposed to, or made it way too intense and just frickin' went for it. Listen, whenever you can get something like that somehow slips through the cracks, oh, those are the best. Those make the best horror stories. It makes it feel so much more cursed than it actually is, like something that's not supposed to be there, which is such a untapped element when it comes to horror. And thing is, everything is so incredibly locked up that there's no way anything of this sort will ever happen again. But this video was so good. I really enjoyed it, and it zoomed by. I thought 20 would take a while, but he really got to the points. And I have to agree with most parts. There's a lot of parts that I remember as a kid, like Large March. I remember sitting at a friend's house at a sleepover watching that and going, holy smokes. But see, as a kid, I love that. Like, we gotta remember that, like, kids love horror. And it's not a generational thing either. They still love horror. Five Nights at Freddy's became one of the biggest franchises because kids love scary. When I was a kid, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I loved all of it. And personally, I think that's not technically a bad thing. I think it makes kids stronger when they see stuff that terrifies them and then being able to get through it. So get on it, Disney. Make one where a vampire stabs a child. Hip hip hooray! Anyways, folks, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoy it, remember subscribe, leave a like down below, and write a comment about what was your childhood fear out of all those? Which one really scared the shit out of you as a kid? But anyways, folks, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everyone!